Imagine for a second that your life is literally a high-security vault. But inside, it's not cash or gold or diamonds. It's something infinitely more valuable. It's your time. It is the absolute one finite resource we are all given. And yet, day by day, hour by hour, it's constantly under attack. Think about the hours that just vanished yesterday. Where'd they go? They weren't stolen all at once in some grand dramatic bank robbery type of event. No, they were drained drop by drop. An unseen gang of thieves is actively pulling off a grand heist right under our noses, draining our most precious asset while we barely even notice it happening. So welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to completely expose this gang, learn exactly how they operate, and figure out how to put a stop to the robbery.
Okay, let's dive into this because what's honestly amazing is that long before smartphones or social media algorithms or endless streaming platforms were even a thing, a 17th century Puritan writer and theologian named Richard Baxter saw the exact same heist happening to the people around him. He didn't just notice a vague loss of productivity either. He actually analyzed the crime scene and identified exactly 12 specific culprits, 12 distinct time-wasting thieves that are just as active today as they were hundreds of years ago. By actually naming them, Baxter gave us the ultimate blueprint to catch them in the act.
But hey, before we start pulling up the mugshots of these 12 suspects, we really have to understand Baxter's core motivation for this whole investigation. It all stems from this incredibly powerful directive found in Colossians chapter 4, verse 5. Redeeming the time. Now, to redeem something isn't just to, save it. It means to buy it back, to recover it, to rescue it from a total loss. Baxter is essentially sounding the alarm here, urging us to reclaim those stolen moments before the vault is completely empty. We aren't just saving time to be a little more efficient with our daily chores. We're literally rescuing our very lives.
So, to actually understand how these culprits operate, we need to group them together, because they definitely work in highly specialized crews. Our first set of suspects belongs to a thematic crew we can just call our physical and material excesses. Think of these guys as the inside jobs. These thieves don't have to break into the vault with a crowbar. We're the ones actively unlocking the door and inviting them right in through our daily physical habits and our endless desire for material comfort.
All right, let's run through this first crew pretty quickly. Thief number 1, idleness or sloth. Just doing absolutely nothing when you know for a fact you should be doing something. Thief 2 is the excess of sleep. That's hitting the snooze button for the third time and taking way more rest than your body actually needs. Thief 3 is what Baxter brilliantly calls the inordinate adorning of the body. Or, as we usually experience it today, staring at a closet totally full of clothes for 20 minutes and deciding you have absolutely nothing to wear. Thief 4 expands this to our environment, unnecessary pomp and extravagance in household furniture. Think of all the hours spent perfectly curating a room purely for show. And Thief 5 is needless feastings, gluttony, and drinking. Baxter's just relentlessly targeting everything from oversleeping to the sheer amount of time we waste overindulging our physical appetites.
Okay, let's keep the pace going here, because once we leave the mirror and the dining table behind, we run smack into the second crew pulling off this heist. Our social distractions. If that first crew attacks our physical comforts, this crew completely infiltrates our calendars and our social circles. They don't steal our time in solitary moments, nope. They do it right out in the open, usually while we're smiling and completely unaware that we are being robbed blind.
Meet thieves 6 and 7. Number 6 is idle talk. And I'm not talking about meaningful, connective conversation here. This is that empty chatter that fills the air but adds absolutely zero value to our lives. Think of that endless, spiraling workplace gossip or that group chat that just literally won't stop pinging. Closely related to that is Thief 7, vain and sinful company. Simply put, it's just keeping the wrong company. These two thieves are absolute masters of the slow drain. They just quietly siphon away hours of our day through completely unproductive conversations and by surrounding us with people who pull us totally away from our core purpose.
And this brilliantly illustrates the danger of thief number 8. Baxter calls out needless, inordinate sports and games. But listen to how he notes they sneak past our defenses. They actually mask themselves with the deceitful title of recreations. Dangerous, time-wasting habits rarely actually look dangerous, right? They dress up as harmless leisure. Now, Baxter isn't saying all rest is bad. We absolutely need rest. But when sports and games become inordinate, like when you spend 45 minutes just scrolling through Netflix trying to find a show, or you lose an entire weekend to a video game under the false flag of, just blowing off steam, that's when they become a notorious thief.
Now, have you ever wasted an entire afternoon without literally even moving from your chair? Yeah, me too. That is the work of our final crew. We're transitioning now to the mental infiltrators. You don't need to be asleep, or talking to bad company, or playing a game for these guys to streak. These thieves operate entirely within the silent confines of our own preoccupied minds and ambitions. They steal our time by hijacking our focus and our intellect.
Let's break down thieves 9 through 11. Number 9 is the excess of worldly cares in business. Basically, being so consumed by the daily grind and climbing the corporate ladder that you completely lose sight of what actually matters. Number 10 is vain, ungoverned, and sinful thoughts. That's when your mind is just a runaway train of useless imagination and anxiety. And number 11 is the reading of worthless books, plays, romances, and novels, along with unprofitable studies undertaken just for pride. It is genuinely wild and honestly kind of amazing how timeless this is. Hundreds of years before doom scrolling on social media was even a concept, Baxter recognized the intense danger of feeding the mind with worthless media or studying merely to puff up our own vanity.
All right, we've identified 11 thieves so far. The lazy habits, the bad company, the empty media, the worldly stress. But who's actually running this gang? Who is the ultimate mastermind orchestrating this entire heist on our lives? Well, the final culprit isn't a specific action or some modern distraction. It's much deeper than that, and it is much more dangerous.
So the crucial point is this. Thief number 12 is the master thief. And Baxter identifies this as an unsanctified, ungodly heart. He explains that this master thief loses time, whatever men are doing, because they never intend to do anything for the glory of God. This is honestly profound. Without God's glory as the ultimate intention, the time is inherently lost. Think about it. You could be working super hard, avoiding bad company, staying awake, totally avoiding useless media, but if the foundational intention of your heart is disconnected from a higher divine purpose, the master thief has already stolen your day.
Now I know the situation sounds pretty dire right now. We've got 12 thieves, including a literal master thief, constantly breaking into the vault of our lives. But this explainer isn't just about identifying the problem, it's about the solution. Baxter doesn't just leave us staring helplessly at the crime scene. He provides the ultimate biblical antidote to lock out the master thief and secure our time once and for all.
Let's move to this next concept and see how it builds our defense strategy. Baxter actually points us straight to Colossians chapter 1, verse 10, that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and may please Him in every way. Defeating these thieves means actively shifting our daily focus. It's not just about trying really, really hard not to waste time, because nature abhors a vacuum, right? It's about replacing that empty space with a positive, driving pursuit. It is about consciously orienting your daily actions toward living a worthy life that actually pleases Him.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how it perfectly, and I mean surgically, counters the master thief. Remember, the master thief steals time because there's no intention to glorify God. Well, 1 Corinthians 10:31 completely flips that script. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. This turns even the most basic, mundane actions like eating, drinking, or just going about your standard morning routine into purposeful, redeemed time. The heist is foiled not by doing impossible, grandiose things every single second of the day, but by attaching a holy, conscious intention to whatever it is you are already doing.
Richard Baxter mapped out this entire crime scene centuries ago, and honestly, the blueprint still holds up flawlessly today. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a challenge to look closely at your own vault. Which of those 12 thieves has the easiest access to your life right now? Is it the screen, the endless idle talk, the excess sleep, or maybe the worldly stress? And ultimately, look at the master thief. And whatever you are doing today, are you doing it all for the glory of God? Take back your vault, secure your focus, and start redeeming your time.